Well, I see Doug and Brad are on, so I guess it's time to go live. It's Good Friday. It's Passover. It's Friday Night Live. 72 degrees in central Connecticut. We're expecting a deluge of rain to begin any minute. Hello, Apostle Pipe Smoker. Tillerman 70H. How are you doing? Pipes and Bees, good afternoon. Guy's got pipes. He's the guy. He's got the pipes. Hillbilly Piper. Yes, I'm, let's say 85% of the way back to normal. I still get a occasional spike fever. Not really high. It's just my temperature goes up, and I still have the congestion, but it's a lot easier to remove than it was before. I'm told I got about another week of this. So, what we're smoking. Ginger's Favorite from Savinelli with some Golden Extra Ready Rub from McBaron. Little story behind that. I got a couple of comments today about people mentioning Golden Extra. I don't know where it came from. It just came out of the blue. And I thought, well, you know what? I guess I better smoke some tonight. Good stuff. Hello, Ernesto Gomez. John Walker. Simon, my man. I got a message from Simon early tonight, and he was asking me if I had read Thoreau's Walden Pond, I guess. And we went back and forth, and I found it online. And I was mentioning to him, I grew up, the house I grew up in was about a half an hour from Walden Pond. And I never read that. So I happened to find it and be able to download it onto my iPad. So I can't wait to dig into that. Thank you again, Simon. There's my other guy there, Briar Malaya. We are smoking the McBaron Golden Extra. Pipe Rider, how you doing? Briar Bear. Dion is in the house. He'll be going on at 8 o'clock tonight. We're going to see how long I can make it tonight, but I most certainly won't step on his toes. Arkansas Mike. Doug Owen. I went around and around with several people about that very subject of why they got rid of London Blend. For anyone who doesn't know, London Blend was like Golden Extra, but it had a smokiness to it, which McBaron said was because it was stored in charred oak barrels, which I never bought. And I always thought that it might have had some Kentucky leaf in it to give it that smokiness. At any rate, they dropped it, and I was heartbroken. Right before they dropped it, I bought a pound of it. But I have since smoked that all up because that was it was right up there with Haunted Bookshop for a while. TX Crafts 1, how you doing? No new blends for spring. As I've been telling everybody lately, at this point in my life, I've decided to smoke my Haunted Bookshop. I'm pretty much done experimenting with stuff, which was further, what am I trying to say? Well, I'm done experimenting with stuff. And if you watched Eddie Gray doing a comparison of the new Old Joe Krantz series, where some of it's got Cavendish, black Cavendish, some of it's got Latakia, some of it they dropped the Perique out of. I'm getting too old for that stuff, you know? Give me my Haunted Bookshop. Don't frig around with it, and I'll be a happy old man. Yes, yes. To each his own, I guess. Pungo Briar. Velvet is good stuff. My Green Zebra. Well, I'll tell you. When you've been experimenting, sampling tobaccos, if you think about it, there's really only so many combinations out there. I know it's a lot, but there are only so many. And you get to the point where you almost know by reading the ingredients what it's going to taste like. And I, for one, have settled on Burley, Virginia, and Perique as what I want to smoke all the time. Haunted Bookshop, of course. I'm not interested in the other stuff. So that's why I say that. You'll find out one of these days. Hello, Oregon. Royal Yacht. Yes, I have tried it a long time ago. Another person from Nashville. Barry Becker's from Nashville. Smoking pirate cake. Thank you, My Green Zebra. That was a great question, though. Thank you as well, Doug. Yeah, you find something you like, and the search is kind of over because you kind of know what your options are after you've been testing stuff for so long. Rope tobaccos. Do you mean like, is that that's not a company, that's like rope? I have done some twisted tobacco. Oh, Pipe Writer, I could have saved you the trouble because I have 3 copies of The Haunted Bookshop here in the house. Hello, old boy Piper. Funny, Pungo Briar. I went through a stage where I said, well, maybe I don't really like Burley that much. And it was probably 8 months I smoked Virginias. And I couldn't deal with it. Just went back to Burley and never went back again. What do we got in the house? 79. Not bad for a Good Friday evening. Anybody on here celebrate Passover? Oh, Brad's smoking Old Dark Fired. Yeah. Briar Melia. Cube Cut Burley's another one of my favorites. Just smoking that by itself, it's great. It's kind of like eating peanuts. Brendan Gainey, yes, yes. The band, yes, was definitely my favorite. When I got into high school, they took me through college, and still, I love listening to them. Jethro Tull, it's a funny story. I first heard him in high school, Aqualung, and really liked that song. And I ended up getting the 8-track tape. I know I'm dating myself. And when I heard that, initially I expected to only really like Aqualung. But when I heard the whole thing, I really fell in love with it. He is quite the showman. And so for years and years, I watched him dancing around the stage and acting like an idiot and everything else. And I got around to hearing him in an interview one time. And what a brilliant guy. You wouldn't expect, or I didn't expect him to be as sharp as he is, but amazing performer. So I did my video this morning and got that out of the way. That was great because now I can kind of look forward to what I'm doing for the rest of the year. And, you know, when you go to tell a story, it's one thing because you know the beginning, you know it right through to the end. And the topic I was trying to do today, I've wanted to do it for a couple of years. And I kept thinking to myself, well, nobody's really going to get this because it's more emotion than it is telling a story or anything. And I wasn't sure up until about a week ago really how this was going to work. And out of frustration, I decided to try to come up with the title of the video first before I really knew how I was going to deliver it. And when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, yeah, I'm trying to find something that I've lost. And that's when I came up with the title In Search Of. And once I thought about that title, I thought, well, there's the whole story right there. Everything fell into place, and out it came today. It was great. Backcountry pipe. How is it up there in Nova Scotia? Guys got pipes. I turned on Pungo Briar. What happened? Something happened. And right when he got up from his chair and he was going to show his sword, I think my phone rang or something. I missed that. I'll have to go back and look at it. Old boy Piper, ever try Cosby Square? Is that Crosby Square or Cosby Square? I don't think I have either one. I love watching these comments. It's 91 and sunny in Phoenix. Lucky guy. But 91's too warm for me. Torgo Max. This is Ginger's favorite from Savinelli. Gifted to me by Smoke and Briar, Mike. Has become a real favorite of mine. Terrific smoking pipe. And we're smoking, in case you missed it, McBaron's Golden Extra Ready Rub. What a jar note this has. Kind of fruity. 96 in the house. I don't know about that, guys got pipes. I'm not much of a Civil War guy. Interesting period, though. 49 and raining in Ohio. Oh, I do have some other news of interest. Today I started my burley seeds. I have to wait 2 weeks to see if they germinate. If I do, then I'm going to be flipping out, trying to figure out whether I'm going to plant them as they are, because they're in small egg crate, or if I'm going to pot them, or what I'm going to do. Thankfully, I've got Tamper Tantrum as my consultant, so I'll cross that bridge if and when I get to it. If you've never seen tobacco seeds, you probably never will, because you can barely see them. Lots of fun to work with. 100 in the house. Dan Chasen. It's raining in Rhode Island? I don't think it's raining here yet, but it was supposed to start at 7. Oh, my little graphic there says it's raining outside, but I don't think it really knows. Thanks for stopping in there, Cal Delta Piper. Happy Easter to you. Old Boy Piper. It's Ginger's favorite from Savinelli. Reminds me that somebody watched my Friday Savinelli story and commented that 1,000 years from now, some archaeologist is going to find my Friday Savinelli and he's going to link it to that video on YouTube. And the pipe is going to end up in a shrine somewhere. I thought that was pretty funny. Steph must be in the house. Yes, there she goes. Gandalf. There is a great, great question. In fact, Doug Owen's in the house. We will ask him because I will show you I have the same problem. This is my Punto Oro 673, and I'm not sure if it's going to show up. But you can see that the finish has like disappeared. I don't know what's going on with that, and since you're asking the question, if Doug is available, maybe he can give us the answer. I think I've told the story before, excuse me, that back when I first started smoking pipes again, 96, 97, somewhere in there, I went out on a cold winter morning with a K Woody that had this beautiful finish on it, and lit the pipe up. Was driving in the car, and all of a sudden I noticed my hands had these flecks all over them, and all the finish just came off of that pipe like in 5 minutes. Must have had something to do with the cold. But this here, I haven't figured out yet. And if I remember correctly, this happened to my Duca Carlo as well. And it's worn down, or it was worn down when I sent it to cane rod pipes to have the stem fixed. The only place there was finish left was right in the crook there. Doug, it's not the stain, it's the what do you call it? The shiny shellac or polyurethane or something. And it's not like it comes off in chunks or anything. It's almost like it got absorbed into the briar. Not a big deal because the thing smokes like a champ. That's all I care about. Stanwell or Savinelli bent billiard? Definitely Savinelli. Never had much luck with Stanwell. Beautiful pipes, but they didn't agree with me. Bona Piper, yes, the gloss. Mark, it's not the stain, it's the gloss. Pacemaker and Buttons 2023. Hey to you. Mr. Kasimba, you could very well be right that it's some sort of a wax that's wearing off. We may never know. Law Dog Piper, thanks for the smiley face. Marcus Matzik smells burnt toast. I'll tell you a little story. Thursday was doing my usual thing at work. Thursdays, as soon as I get into work, I get caught up on invoices, all my paperwork. And I knew when I had the paperwork done, I had this little project I had to go do. And I always like to break up my administrative stuff with my hands-on stuff. So I figured I'd run outside quick and have a bowl. So as per usual, as I was smoking the bowl, I was thinking about this little project that I had coming up, and I thought of this great idea on how to make it go easier. So I'm puffing on the pipe and I'm like, oh, I want to get to this. I want to get to this. Went back in the building, and I normally put my thumb over the bowl as I go back to my office, just so I don't stink up the hallway. Got back in the office, and there was something that caught my eye on the desk, and I kind of sat down in the chair like this, and I'm looking at whatever it was on the desk, and all of a sudden I started to smell something burning. I'm like, is that like a hot pipe, water pipe, or is it something electrical? And I looked down, my coat was on fire. So be careful with your pipes, boys and girls. Good night, Cal Delta Piper. Law Dog Piper, I have to go until next February. We may stretch it out to March, or we may bail early, who knows, but the target date is February. Ah, interesting, Doug. Thank you very much for that little tidbit. Like I said, it doesn't bother me in the least, and I never would have brought it up, except it came up in the comments with somebody else. And as I say, it's not like anything chipped off. It's more like the glossy stuff either wore down or it got sucked into the briar or something. Beautiful pipe, though. I only had one other incident with a pipe, and that was with my the pipe that's made from a plum tree from the UK. And this pipe burns hot anyway. And I put it in my top pocket, and I don't know what I was doing, but the ashes hopped out into my pocket. And it was the same thing again. I smelled something. I didn't know what was going on. And then I looked down, and there's like flames coming up from my pocket. Oh, William, that would be a terrible thing to be smoking a church warden and have the finish bubbling off. Hey, Curly, thanks for joining us. Look forward to seeing you on Friday nights. Hello, bearded tamper. Gear-driven smoke. 109 in the audience tonight. Marcus. Mrs. Matches puts up with the pipe smoking. She used to have to put up with cigarette smoking, and I think she's happier with the pipe smoking. I don't usually smoke upstairs, so it doesn't bother anybody upstairs. And let's see, I don't think I have anything else I was going to mention tonight. Not sure exactly what I'm doing yet for the next video. The weather's bound to get better for video making. I have a couple of reviews that I want to get done. I know I have a couple of stories to tell. So we'll have to see what develops. Cascadian Piper, glad you could join us. Thank you for joining us tonight there, AT, and have a great weekend. Old Boy Piper, congrats on the 100 subs. I can remember every one of the those markers there, like 100, 200, 500. Took me forever to get 500. And 1,000 was a big one. Then once I hit 1,000, I started almost not keeping track of where I was at. But exciting stuff. Tillerman, I think I saw your video. Was it you that the number was going back and forth? That happens all the time too. 8 o'clock in the morning, you got 200 subs. 8:30, you've got 195. 9 o'clock, you've got 205. It's ridiculous. Huckman. A basement question. Is that a missing drawer on the cabinet holding the lamp? It drives me crazy. Hey, I'll tell you about that. That is a cabinet from, I can't remember. Oh, the guy was a chiropractor. So hold on a minute. These are sliding glass doors. So it probably looks like there's nothing there, but it's sliding glass. And then you've got the top drawer and the nice cabinet underneath. Thank you for your question. Hey, Luke, try doing a few videos. You'll have a blast doing it. You'll have a greater time interacting with people. It's a lot of fun. I've never heard anybody who's got a YouTube channel saying that they regretted doing the videos. The only thing a couple of people have mentioned is that they weren't aware of how busy they were going to get answering comments and doing trades with people and that kind of stuff. But that all goes with the territory. Yeah, Luke, shoot me a message if you put one up, because I don't want to miss it. You got it, Doug. Buckeye Piper, you tell them, everybody tell them, you got to make videos. It's lots of fun, gets you involved. Marcus, I'm sorry to hear your missus hates pipes. Okay, it's 7:37 and my throat is starting to not cooperate with me. So I'm going to wrap this up. I will give the usual shout out to briarreport.com, briarreport.org. Check those guys out. They do some great stuff on the internet. Thanks to everybody for joining in tonight. Want to wish everybody a happy Easter weekend, and we'll catch you next week. Take it easy.